Happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy birthday, Craig. I hope you have a great day. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys. It's going to be a nice little core buster today, so it's going to be a good time. But let's get you warmed up first. What we got is an inchworm knee to nose for 3 to 5 reps into our extended plank hold for 10 to 30 seconds. Forearm plank, 10 to 30 seconds. Forearm side plank reach through for 15 seconds per side. And a bridge pullback for 3 to 5 reps and 5-second hold per session. 2 to 3 rounds of that. We're going to rock that just to get things primed up. And then we're going to move down and kind of play around with the dumbbell a little bit, get those bodies moving around. Dumbbell Sumo Deadlift for 3 into a Dumbbell Sumo Deadlift high pull for 3. Repeat on the opposite side. Then you're going to take down a half Turkish Get Up for 3 to 5 a side, 3-second holds in the down and the up portion. So we're going to spend some time in those positions. And then Deadbug for 6 to 10 alternating reps for 3 to 5 rounds. You're going to get that yourself ready to go, fired up, ready for action. We're going to take down this nice 3-round couplet. So we have 3 rounds. We're going to do 30 Sumo Deadlift high pulls per side at a nice steady state pace. And then you're going to take down 10 per side Turkish Get Up Sit Up. And then repeat. So it's going to be a lot of rotation work, a lot of work up and down. It's going to be a good core buster, and I hope you guys really enjoy this one, because it is going to get a little harder as you get going. If you'd like to use 2 different dumbbell weights, if you have access to that at home, lighter for the Sumo Deadlift high pull, and you can go a little heavier with the Turkish Get Up Sit Up if you'd like. So keep that in mind. If you are going to have 2 different loads, the Turkish Get Up Sit Up is going to be the heavier of the 2, because I want that Sumo Deadlift high pull just to flow really well and really smoothly. All right, so let's get you warmed up, ready for action, and we'll see where this one takes us today. All right, let's get those feet under the hips. Let's take that body all the way up overhead. Big reach. A little stretch to one side. Oh, and a stretch to the other side. Oh, yeah. We'll take it all the way down to the ground, touching those toes. We'll walk with those shins. We'll come down, frame a foot. Step back. We're going to bring that inside hand on that front foot. And what we're going to do is we're going to lower the knee. We're going to press the hip. And then we're going to open up to the side. Nice open twist. We'll come back down. Press the hip, open up to the side, back down, press the hip, one more time, open up to the side. We'll come back down, straighten out that back leg. We're just going to turn towards that outside hand, come back to the center, plant the hand, and step back into that nice down dog, reaching those hips. We'll come back into that plank, step the other foot up, plastering that foot down. We're going to lower the back knee, press the hip, come back to center, outside hand, back down, press the hip, back to center, open, come back down, press the hip, back to center, outside hand, come back down. Press that leg straight. We're going to turn the torso, come back to center, we'll plant the hand, step back, reach those hips, come back into that plank, tiptoe those feet up, and roll ourselves all the way up. Big stretch, big reach, yaw, big reach, yaw. Bring those hands down and get you ready for action. So let's pause the video, let's take it down. If you'd like to do some gentle warm up on your own, pause it, rock that. A little bit of thread the needle and some rotational work might not be a bad idea today, or some cat-cow curls, just to get that spine really warmed up and ready to go. But if you're ready to go, come join me. If you want to do some more gentle, pause, and I'm going to get you going through that nice little core piece to get things heated up from the inside out. All right, we're going to kickstart off our day with some inchworm knee to noses. So I'm going to turn to the side. I'm going to get myself set up. I'm going to walk myself down my shins, keeping my legs relatively straight, but they can be soft in the knees. We're going to walk our hands out into our plank, pulling those ribs in, pressing those shoulders into that good plank position. We're going to pull our knee straight up and under, trying to get that knee to nose. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Come back into that plank, walk those hands in, trying to keep those legs relatively straight so we can touch on those hamstrings. Stand up tall. If you'd like to stretch it out overhead, you can. And then bring it back down and move into the next round. The key thing with this plank, knee to nose, is again, before we start bringing the knee up to the nose, we want to make sure we're establishing that good plank, and we're trying not to move and adjust the plank to get the knee higher. We're just trying to bring the knee straight up to wherever we can manage, all right, and get that knee to that compression in that low rib and hip. After that, we're going to work on a little bit more plank work, and you can just move right into another inchworm to get yourself into this. So you're going to get yourself set up in your plank first. So you're nice and set in your plank, ribs are in, shoulders pressing, and then you're going to walk yourself out to your extended plank. So pulling those ribs in, pressing through those hands, pressing into those toes to stay nice and square, and we're going to hold that plank. Or you can do this via the knees and still get that nice extended plank. Set that position nice and tight, and you're going to hold, accumulating anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds in that extended plank position. Remembering that we want to be pressing down into the hands, even weight between the thumb and the pinky, armpits are facing towards the floor, so we can feel that engagement all the way down our body. So we really have that full kind of lat stability, the arm pressure down to the floor to stay stable, and we're keeping those ribs pulled in as well. Only take out as far as you feel comfortable, and I would like you to be able to come back into your plank from that extended position when you're done your time. So make sure you're listening to your body in terms of how long you're holding or banking those seconds. After, we're going to go give the hands a little bit of a break. We're going to go on our forearms. So we're going to get ourselves set up in our forearm plank. Elbow stacked under the shoulder, stepping my feet back into that nice plank position. I'm going to press through the floor, pull the ribs in, and I'm going to hold that nice plank. Now again, we talk about this a little bit more. If this is a really tough position on the shoulders, we can lower the knees down. It doesn't take a lot of pressure off of my core position, but it does give my shoulders a little bit of reprieve. So I might be able to hold a little longer. But dropping the knees down, maintaining that hollow is going to be a fantastic way to build strength in that forearm plank position. So maybe you can hold 20 seconds, full toe, maybe you have to drop down to your knees for 10, so be it. It's going to help extend that time under tension and build that strength that way. After the forearm plank, we're going to stay with the forearm plank and move into our forearm side plank with reach through. So we're going to get ourselves established first through that stable shoulder. So pressing down through the arm into that shoulder. We're then going to lift the hips up into the side plank. The arm is going to come up, and then we're going to pull that arm through, reaching as best we can through, and then coming back up. I can also do this through the bent knee. So I push through that shoulder, lift the hips are square, lift the arm, and then I rotate through to get a little bit of rotation and come back up. Both very good options. Just know that if you're going down, doing those rotations from the knee, you are going to have limited range of motion on the rotation, and that's okay. What we're trying to establish first is the strength to hold ourselves in that side plank with some dynamic flow and movement. So if you feel as though your range of motion isn't quite the same as it would be if you were on your toes, it is. It's a little shyer, but that's okay. Start there, build the strength, then start building the stability to get those legs out in that full side plank to work on that rotation a little bit more. Slow and steady build with those ones though. After that, we get to lay down on our back and we're going to work on our hamstrings. So you're going to lay on your back, your feet are going to come just outside your fingers. You're going to press your hands down into the floor just to brace that upper back. We're going to pull the ribs in, and then we're going to squeeze into our bridge. Now from here, I'm going to shift the weight into the balls of my feet, and I'm going to pull my heels back towards my glutes. It doesn't look like I'm doing much, but my legs are starting to shake a little bit because I can feel that engagement through my hamstring as I'm pulling the foot back. Now my feet aren't actually going to move because they're connected to the floor, but we want to feel that pull backwards with the hamstring to get that nice sensation. Now there is a difference between shifting your body weight into the toes and pressing into the toes. We don't want to press into the toes because that's just going to give you a little unnecessary tension in the calf, and it might end up cramping your calves. You just want to make sure that we shift the weight a little bit to the balls of the feet so there's a little bit less contact with the heel, and then pull back with those heels. I have it set up for 3 reps, or 3 to 5 reps at a 5-second hold to give you a few smaller doses of that hamstring engagement so we can really feel that setup, that engagement, and that kind of contraction through the hamstring. Quick little recap. We have an inchworm knee to nose for 3 to 5 reps, extended plank hold for 10 to 30 seconds, knees or toes, forearm plank of 10 to 30 seconds, forearm side plank, reach through, 15 seconds per side, and a bridge pullback, 3 to 5 at 5 seconds. We're gonna take that down 2 to 3 rounds, rock it, get yourself fired up. We're gonna come back at you with a little bit of dumbbell work and rotation work to get you ready for the work set. All right, our next phase, we're gonna start introducing that dumbbell into our work set today now. So we have our dumbbell Sumo Deadlift that goes right into our Sumo Deadlift high pull. So I'm gonna turn and face the side so you can see my back position, and then I'll turn and face the front so you can see my shoulder position in the high pull. So I'm just gonna flow from one to the next. So my feet are straddling the dumbbell. I'm in that slightly wider than my squat stance, so my sumo stance. I'm gonna take my hips back into that good hinge and down, keeping my weight through my midfoot. If I don't have the range, I'm just gonna end up picking that dumbbell up and then going down to a nice comfortable range below the knee. So I'm gonna take my hips back and down, taking that dumbbell down, and then standing tall, and then working that nice smooth range of motion to my desired depth that allows me to maintain my back position. From there, I'm gonna float right into my Sumo Deadlift high pull, so it's the same start. I push through those legs, big push that allows that dumbbell to flow, and then my high pull portion just guides the dumbbell into that sternum position. So I want you guys to really embrace and think, push through the legs, and that allows the dumbbell to move, and we just guide it with the arm into that nice high and outside position. So we're not trying to go forward, backing up with that elbow, dumbbell's gonna rest somewhere on the sternum. On the same token, we don't need the dumbbell up by our head, just to the sternum, or mid or high rib is perfectly fine. After we've done that per side, we're gonna move through the half Turkish Get Up. And you can do this with load or without load. I'm gonna get the pad for my knee for this one. And I'm gonna put my back knee down on the mat just for comfort. The lead knee is gonna have the arm in the air. Likewise, this is gonna be the arm that's gonna have the dumbbell. I'm gonna be actively pressing up to the ceiling, armpit facing forward, nice and strong, and I'm gonna tilt my body over, basically kind of going into a modified side plank. My hand or dumbbell is over my shoulder, shoulder over shoulder, and shoulder over hand. And then we're gonna come back up, nice and set. Holding for 3 seconds, and then holding for 3 seconds in the down position. Double check always before we start this movement that the leg that's forward is the arm that is in the air, because if you go backwards, it's not gonna go as smoothly. Right after that, we're gonna balance out those hips with our Deadbug. So we're gonna rock this Deadbug on our backs. We're gonna get set up kind of like we did our bridge. Feet are flat, hands just outside. We're gonna pull the ribs in. I'm gonna lift my feet up off the floor so we're at a 90-degree with the knee and the hip. Hands are gonna be straight above my shoulders. And I'm gonna keep that low back in contact with the floor as I extend my right arm, my left leg, as I reach as far as I feel comfortable, and I squeeze, come back in, extend the other side, holding, and then come back in. I'm gonna take some time in between those reps just to pause in the extended position and the table position or flipped table position, just to show control and that I don't just start going all kind of willy-nilly with the arms and the legs. So I really want to make sure that I'm working control and coordination with that. Quick recap, we have our dumbbell Sumo Deadlift for 3, right into our dumbbell Sumo Deadlift high pull for 3, flip sides, half Turkish Get Up for 3 to 5s, upper side with a 3 to 5 second hold in both positions, the up and the down, and then finishing off that with some balance work with the pelvis with that Deadbug for 6 to 10 alternating reps. 3 to 5 rounds, take that down, move smoothly through it, get yourself primed and ready. We're gonna move into that next phase, which is the work set that's coming at you. All right, so our work set's coming at you. The workout is 3 rounds, dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull for 30 per side, and Turkish Get Up Sit Up 10 per side. We covered the sumo deadlift high pull pretty heavily in the opening scenes of the warm-up, so if you need any review on those points of performance, please kind of scroll back, check that out, and hone those into your mind so you're ready for action in the work set. The Turkish Get Up Sit Up, though, is always a good time. So I'm going to get myself laying on the floor. I'm going to get myself set up. Arms are out to a kind of a 45. I'm going to start my left arm up to the sky, so this will be the arm holding the dumbbell, or not, depending on how comfortable I am. And that means my left leg is going to come up. I am going to press that arm up to the ceiling. I'm going to press that foot into the floor. I'm going to press into this elbow, coming up to the side as I rotate kind of to the side, and then I'm going to come up to my hand if I'd like, and then come back down. And then all the way down to the floor, and I'll do it again. So I'll press with the foot, hand, and elbow. I can either stop here or come up to the side and that on my hand, and then come back down. Nice and controlled. Once I set, I'll do another rep. So I'm always looking for all my reps on one side, all on the other side. And I'm going to turn and face the camera for a second so you guys can see how much I actually rotate into that elbow. So I'm pushing through the arm to the ceiling, pressing down to my foot, and then going towards that elbow. So I'm really leaning and using that lean to allow this arm to stay upright. So embrace that shift to the elbow, all right? And then if we come to the hand, then we come a little bit more square. But I really am leaning over into this side quite heavily, and that's okay. It's not cheating the movement, it's allowed, all right? So we want to make sure we're giving our body the best and most opportune position to keep that arm reaching towards the ceiling the entire time. We don't want that arm to come forward, because if we have a really heavy load, we're not going to be able to support that with that arm by itself. So we always need to have that arm pointing up to the sky the entire time, regardless of how we're positioning ourselves. As a quick recap, we have 3 rounds, dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull for 30 a side, Turkish Get Up Sit Up for 10 a side, repeat 3 times, call it a day. It's going to be a cool little couplet, all right, with 2 movements that, you know, one's going to get your heart rate up there pretty quick, one is going to tax those arms in that core, but it's going to let your heart rate come down a little bit, so don't rush the Turkish Get Up Sit Ups. Have fun with them, work them for quality, and see where they take you. It's a great core exercise and a great chance to work on some rotational work. I hope you guys enjoy this couplet. Really looking forward to hearing how you took it down. Greg, enjoy your birthday. Let this bring a little extra specialness to the day, but I hope you guys have a fantastic day. As always, work for quality, have fun, and we'll see you tomorrow for some good fun and a little bit of strength work. Bye, you guys.